Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon. And I had up alone, I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls seem polite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect.
Wagwan people, Lumini here, back again with another episode of the Sunderland Save here on my channel, and you can see by what we currently have on the screen, we're starting off with some absolutely huge news. Ross Stewart has penned a new 2-year deal to stay on with Sunderland. We weren't sure whether he was going to end up leaving us for free, but I just happened to be looking around the team. I'll put it up on screen now. I was looking around the team, looking at contracts, and I just thought I would see if Ross Stewart was willing to reopen contract talks. He was willing to reopen contract talks. We then did manage to get him down to accept what is probably a little bit less than what he's worth. So next season I may give him another new contract. But it was a £10,333, I think, £1,000 deal. But yeah, the big news is that he will be staying with us. We don't have to worry about him leaving on a free anymore. He is staying with the team. The next update we have is a youth scout update, or youth academy update, should I say. We don't have scouts out. Freddie Wilkinson has dropped, so we are going to be releasing him. Harrison Tucker is looking all right. We're going to switch him to poacher so that we can try and get that work rate up. We start this episode with a game against Stoke. We also will be playing Coventry, Luton and Bristol. We're not playing Wigan because we're going to break it down so that it works out that the next episode have 4 games and the episode after that will have 3. That way it just, things are a little bit cleaner, works a bit better. As you already know from last episode, we are still sat at the top of the table by 3 points. Ahead of Middlesbrough, 4 points ahead of Burnley. We did have a little bit of a slip up and have been in a bit of a rut recently, but I'm hoping we can start to find our feet again now that we have the main team back together. Ahmad has recovered from his injury. Joe Gelhardt's ready to play, Luke O'Nine's ready to play, and Diaku wants to play, but he probably won't be against Stoke. In a rich vein of form and #1 35 goals for Ross Stewart, but like we know, he had been struggling a little bit in front of goal. That's another thing we've been doing a lot of, is giving the ball away in defence after making tackles.
Oh, wait a minute, could be in here. There it is, a delightful start to this match. Just what they were hoping for.
Just as I was talking about how poor defensively we've been, Danny Back gives the ball away, and it's 3 passes, and it's a goal. Yeah, right. Well, we're 1-0 down within 5 minutes to Stoke City. So it doesn't look like our poor form, or poorer form, is going to be going away in this one.
In full flow there. Apologies for that. For clarification, Blackburn did score in that game. They now lead by
Ross Stewart now through though. And we are going to equalise almost immediately. Ross Stewart, 1-on-1. Still am counting on him to finish all of those off, and still do believe that he has the ability to finish them off. It's a good little bit of play from us from kickoff, and we do find the ball round there. It's a good ball from Pritchard, and then a banger of a shot from Ross Stewart. 36 goals now for him this season. We are back on level terms. Callum, can you win that header? You can, but you only headed to Fox, which is poor. Diallo wins that one into the feet of Dan Neil. Got some space to run here, Diallo. Gelhardt's got space. Tyman's the man back, I thought. Oh, it's going to go out for a corner from Tyman. So we will get an opportunity from the corner at least. Whip this one in with Amad Diallo towards Ross Stewart. Ross Stewart does get ahead to it, and we are 2-1 up. I think the keeper thought it was going wide there. Didn't actually gamble to try and stop it from going in. Ross Stewart puts us 2-1 up. It's a very good corner from Amad Diallo there. Poor jump from Aidan Flint. Yeah, you can see the goalkeeper just kind of doesn't expect it to drop into that bottom corner. Where's Daniel?
Gale.
He's got to be making tackles here, boys. What? I don't know what happened to the ball there, but wanted Gelhardt to pop that one around the corner, but doesn't get enough on it. Brown coming forward now. That's a good little 1-2. Callum tried to step up. Why is no one dropped? Brown goes for the diving header, luckily, so it gives us an opportunity to let Patterson save it. Jack Clark to head this one out. It's going to fall to Fox. For some reason, I can't get a player out. Dwight Gale gets in behind, but he does put it wide. McCallum really shouldn't be getting rolled like that there. Patterson's giving it away from goal kick. I mean, I think I should probably just start kicking them long if we're going to be like this. That's inexplicable, really, from Patterson and from the defence. I want him to go to Danny back there, and for some reason, he goes to Dwight Gale instead. Don't really need to see the replay because it's pretty obvious what happened. Patterson just doesn't do what he's told, really. I think McCallum streamed forward.
Still passing it around with authority.
Stewart to hold it up. Into Pritchard. He's going to go back to Diallo. Trying to sweep one in towards Stewart. It actually wasn't terribly far away from Stewart. Good tackle, Matete. That's what we want from Matete in those areas. We haven't had it a lot recently. Good cross towards the back post. Can Matete get in there again? He can. He's going to drop to Gelhardt. Gelhardt's going to strike one. 3-2 in the first half. 5 goals. Absolutely crazy game so far. Gelhardt smashing one from the edge of the box, giving us the lead back. This is a crazy game against Stoke City right now.
Well, when you see this again, the defending just isn't good enough. The clearance doesn't get enough height on it.
It's a good strike. Powerful hit from Joe Gelhardt on the edge of the box. Flies into the top bins. 3-2 to Sunderland. We're scoring right now, but we're not defending at all well. Oh, that's not actually where I wanted that to go, but luckily it does drop nicely. Stewart on the run. Can we find him? It's a bit of a floated one, but Ross Stewart is through on goal. Ross Stewart puts it wide. Considering the opportunity's already finished, you would have thought there would have been another goal in the first half for Ross Stewart. We do go into half-time with a slim 1-goal lead, but yeah, I'm not confident of holding on to it, if I'm honest. Brown gets round. Danny Batt's defending in the last couple of games has been god-awful, man. It's 3-3 now. Like I said, I wasn't confident of hanging on to it, and we haven't hung on to it at all. Danny Batt just has to be doing better with these challenges. Look how far off it he is, and then he just can't recover. He's got to be doing better there, man. Seriously.
Well, this really ought to be a championship game.
Drop Danny back here because he hasn't been making those challenges that I usually use him for very well. Diallo's making a run into the box here. Narrow, but
that's a fine save.
Good save from the goalkeeper in the end. Diallo does get into a dangerous area. Clark to float this one in. It's not a very good corner though from Clark, if I'm honest. Matete. Richards usually does have that decent dribbling about him. That one goes into Jack Clark, into Diaku off the bench. There we go, 4-3. Leon Diaku, we have been asking to step up his form a little bit, and this time he does manage to smash one into the back of the net. Good little bit of patient play from us. 4-3. This is a mental game so far against Stoke City. And if I'm honest, I don't think the goal scoring is over in this one either. This is game management, boys. This is what you do. 3 minutes of added time. We do lose the ball there. Ross Stewart's going to go in it. If it's a red card, it's a red card. We take them. Some tactical foul from Ross Stewart. Chopping down Sterling because he was about to play a very long ball down the wing. Can we win the header? Yes, we can. Towards Ross Stewart again, who unfortunately now can't make the challenge. Flint into Powell.
And forward they go, chasing the game.
Gonna chip it out wide to Timon.
The cross is
Timon
on.
up against Diallo.
In position here.
Diallo gets rolled there. Luke 09 with a very good block. It's a last minute corner. They've pushed everybody up for it.
They've got to ask questions.
Can Danny back clear it with the header? He can. It's going to drop to Diallo. We are going to walk away with a 4-3 win over Stoke City. That was a fucking tough game, I can't even lie. Defensively right now, we are all over the shop, but at least attacking wise, we're still finishing opportunities. Ross Stewart getting himself too. We will give ourselves an inform for this game as well. There's a lot of candidates that could get it, but you know I have to give it to the man who scored 2 goals to keep our advantage. It's going to go to Ross Stewart. So that win sees us still 4 points clear at the top over now Burnley, not Middlesbrough. Next up, we have a game against Coventry, so we'll do this training and then we'll get into the next one. Alright, game against Coventry here. We do have a press conference to do, so we will get that one done. Diaku wants to play again. Though he did score in that game, he probably isn't ever going to be starting. I will bring him up to the bench because he probably does deserve a place on the bench at least. Is his training done actually? Oh, I actually forgot we have other training done. Patrick Roberts switching to a right mid. We did put Benete on to retrain back as a wide midfielder, and then we will go into Leon Diaku here, who is now trained as a striker, and we will put him on poacher training so that we can get him on an attacking work rate. But yeah, like I said, we do have a press conference to do before we get into the next game, so let's get that done. Hi guys, welcome to the press conference. We're ready for questions whenever you're ready. Look, this has been cycling, doing the rounds between the media for so long now that I forgot when it even started, if I'm honest. Like I said, I always felt from my conversations with Ross that he was dedicated to the club, and now he's proven it by putting pen to paper. He'll be here for another 2 years with us and hopefully to help us progress to the next level. I think we have to take the fact that we showed heart in the last game to keep coming back, even though we were conceding goals. Look, no one ever likes to concede 3 goals in a game, especially as a manager. But I'll only ever give props for a game like that when your boys show the heart to keep fighting, keep pushing, and keep looking for those goals. And eventually, as you saw, we did walk out 4-3 winners over Stoke. So I can't be too critical of the lads because they kept getting themselves out of the situations. But yeah, obviously we don't want to keep conceding goals if possible. Clean sheets are what you always aim for as a manager when you set up your teams. But if it doesn't happen, then at least we're showing we've got what it takes to outscore the competition. Last time you faced Coventry, they knocked you out of the FA Cup in a replay. Does that add a little bit more fire to this meeting? This is any other game for us. We've got a target at the moment which is focusing on pushing for the championship title. Obviously we currently still sit atop the table. We're in decent form. We had struggled a little bit, but we were still picking up results here or there. We're looking to come out of that slump and now really push on towards the end of the season to try and wrap this title up. Of course, when you play a team that have beaten you in a competition like the FA Cup, you have to know that some of the boys are going to have that in the back of their minds. Maybe they're looking for a measure of revenge, but for me it's completely professional. We're here to win another game of football, and that's what I'm looking to do in this match against Coventry. Cheers guys. But we do have a promo going into this one.
Today. The hype has been building all week and the fans are pouring into the stadium. The tension palpable. Stay tuned, we'll have all the action for you live on EA TV.
So we are back at the Stadium of Light for this one. Obviously, last time we played Coventry was in the FA Cup in those 2 games. They did eventually end up beating us. I don't remember what the first result in the league was, though. Ross Stewart's going to make an early run here into the box.
Comes of this.
Bring it down. He does miscontrol it a little bit. That is a very good save from Moore at the near post, though. We will get an early corner in the 2nd minute. Did score a corner from in the last game. Can we recreate that with Ross Stewart? Doesn't quite get his head to this one. It did drop in the box, but we can't snap onto it. That's a very good ball from Jack Clark if Ross Stewart's onside, though. But unfortunately, he didn't do well with it. Oh, my God. The touch from Ross Stewart completely took all momentum away from him. He then does manage to get it back past Jonathan Panzo. But the shot comes off the post, off of Moore's back, but it kills the momentum, so it doesn't bounce back into the net. Palmer, that's a good ball. Oh, what has Sirkin done there? Dennis Sirkin with an absolute howler of a clearance. Passes it straight back to the striker in the box. Another defensive mistake by us, man.
Well, as you can see, the weight of the through ball is key to
the through ball was great, to be fair. They completely messed up the opportunity passing it across to Dabo. But then it's gifted back to them by Dennis Sirkin being an absolute moron. Neil to bring us forward. Why do I keep bringing McNeil up all the time?
On the ball,
Pritchard. Stewart's going to make a run in behind here. Good work by Stewart to get in. Cuts it back. Joe Gelhardt. Are you kidding me that Simon Moore has made another save? Simon Moore might be one of the best goalkeepers I've ever come up against in FIFA. Because this man just makes save after save from one-on-one opportunities. McCallum goes for a diving header. It's quite ambitious. Gelhardt. We're waiting for Stewart to make that run again. Has been getting in behind the Coventry boys. Oh, but the touch again from Ross Stewart. Come on, Ross. 3rd attempt now to get in behind. Diallo's in behind Bidwell here. Need some help. Gelhardt's trying to wind one up. It's going to fall to Stewart. Moore again with another save. Can we just get Simon Moore out of here, please? Because he is frustrating the hell out of me. But we do get one, finally. We've absolutely battered Simon Moore's goal. McCallum finally does put one of his headers away. It's quite lucky because it comes off the inside of the post. It's a good cross from Amad Diallo. McCallum gets on the end of it. He is quite the expert again on the end of headers from corners. It's a deep one, as you can see. Danny Batt, I thought, was the man to go to it. Simon Moore just can't stretch across to save it because it comes off the inside of the post, sorry. Just going into half time, we are back on level terms. Like I said, I think we actually have played better than Coventry. We've carved out more opportunities for sure, but once again, we're either met with Simon Moore making an incredible save, or we're met with a poor touch, meaning that we don't get the best of the opportunity.
Looking for the goal that would put them ahead.
Preview's going to take a shot here. It's a good save from Patterson. Defence was kind of out of position there, so I'm glad that Patterson was ready for it. Richards coming on here because Pritchard is knackered. Allen's taken it. They've taken it short to Allen. Big tackle in there from Diallo. Previous, Bidwell, Allen. Palmer. Weird shot from Gyökeres there. Jack Clark, don't know what he just did with the ball. Matete, Dan Neil.
Joe Gelhardt.
We're going to wait for the Stewart run again and chip it through. Ross Stewart with another opportunity, 1-on-1, and this time does beat Simon Moore. We are 2-1 up over Coventry. Ross Stewart finally putting to rest his demons against Simon Moore. Simon Moore did have the mental game over Ross Stewart, it seemed, coming into this one. Ross Stewart's made those runs over and over again in this game. Finally we find him, and finally he takes a good touch and finishes. We are 2-1 up. Ross Stewart's 37 goals this season. We've got guard against a counter-attack here. Gyökeres up against Matete, but Matete does incredibly well. Ballard is going to go back to the keeper. Patterson send it long towards Bonete. Actually almost works as a through ball, but gets headed forward. Previolac now coming forward. Dabo. McCallum with a vital interception there. That is absolutely huge from McCallum. Overlap here. Gyökeres into Previolac. Back to Allen. Oh, it's going to be a pen. Oh, it isn't going to be a pen. We have got away with murder there because that 100% should have been a pen. Going to move Dan Neal across here. Bring on 09 and Roberts. Bonete. Going to try and chip in Stewart here. Roberts. And that is going to be 3-1. No, it's not. Roberts is offside. Where's the offside? I want to see the line here. I swear Roberts was onside. Oh, he just doesn't check back in time. 2 minutes left. It's going to be another attack for Coventry because Ross Stewart did not make the run for us. And there are bodies streaming forward for Coventry. Gyökeres absolutely blows his opportunity there, Gyökeres. Don't know what the hell he was planning to do there, but kind of chips it instead. Patterson is going to send this one all the way up the field towards Gelhardt. Gelhardt does win the header, but we will hang on for a 2-1 win over Coventry. We aren't defending great, but we are grinding out results. So, you know, I kind of have to take those because I just said we want a decent finish to the end of the season. I didn't say how we have to finish, but we will take those results. Coventry, though, man, they are a tough team to play against. We are going to give another inform for this game, and I think it probably deserves to go to your man Sam McCallum, so he is going to get the inform for this one. That win sees us now stretch our lead to 5 points over Middlesbrough. Burnley have dropped back down into third, so the fight between second and third is very intense. We have opened up a little bit more of a gap now, so that's useful for us. We do have 2 games left in this one against Luton. The next game against Luton comes very quickly, and then we have Bristol to finish off the episode. I'm just going to check where Bristol and Luton are on the table. I think Luton were 14th, that said, and Bristol was 17th. So I think what we'll do is we'll play the Luton game and maybe sim the Bristol game. Do you know what? I think we might sim Luton instead, and then play the last game of the episode as opposed to the other way around. Going to go for a quick sim. We don't really care about the result in this one. It's going to be a 1-1 draw. Lansbury getting the goal after Stewart opening
What?
the scoring. That result still sees we still do keep our lead over Middlesbrough at 5, so that's not too bad. They didn't manage to close the gap on us at all, so that's fine. We have one more game left this episode up against Bristol. We have one training session to do before we get into that one, so let's go ahead and do that now. Also, we do have Dan Bullard and Corey Evans as well as Tagnauti getting called up for international duty in March. Right, last game of the episode. We do play 17th place Bristol City. Like I said, we are on 81 points at the moment at the top of the tables. Let's get into the last game of the episode. We've had a decent episode so far. 2 played wins, a sim draw. Let's see if we can round out the episode with another good result at home. It seems like the most likely roll. That is a great cross to Jack Clark at the back post. Why did Joe Gelhardt not try and tap that in? Bringing the ball forward. Going to go back to Amad Diallo. Joe Gelhardt's going to try and find Ross Stewart on the run. This is Ross Stewart's wheelhouse right here, running through on goal. He does get pushed wide, does take the shot, but it is a good save. He was pushed quite wide, so I think it was a tough opportunity for Stewart in the end. Does hold one up here though. Finds Matete. That shot's going to get deflected towards Joe Gelhardt, but Pring deals with it, and then smashed clear by Naismith. We're going to let that one go off for the throw.
Looking for that final pass.
They are grouping up on the edge of the box here. Naki Wells. Oh, Patterson, you have to be doing better if you're coming out to close there, man. You can't be letting that get slid underneath you. We're going to switch again to pressing, because once again we go 1-0 down before we can even react. We've had the better opportunities as well, but once again defensively we slip up, and it's a through ball. Nyaki Wells gets in behind Danny Bat, but Patterson has to do better there, man. He comes out to close the ball, but you can't be letting that get slid round you at your near post. That just can't happen. Good tackle. We're just going to send this one out.
Well, that's
1-0 down, but arguably we've had the better opportunities. Bristol City finishing off. I think they've actually only had the one shot, to be fair. If you ever do anything around them, they will just instantly get the ball off you. Naismith was there. I should have seen him, and I should have realised there was no chance. Again, look, Naismith there. Naismith isn't here now, though. Ross Stewart is, though, and Ross Stewart is going to get us back on level terms. It's taken a while for us to finally score a goal. 66 minutes, we do manage to get an equaliser. Longer than I wanted it to take. Finally, we get Naismith out of that central position, away from Ross Stewart, and we do manage to finish an opportunity. Second.
Well, this really ought to be a championship game to savour. It's live on EA TV.
Whip this one to
Bristol
Diallo.
City facing Reading.
Well, Derek, I'm really looking
Richards has
forward to
made
it.
a very good cut and run here. Not great touch from Richards, but it's an amazing finish from Daniel Richards. The young man gives us a lead. It was a very good run from Daniel Richards. That is the one difference, I would say, between Daniel Richards and Alex Pritchard playing in these games, is that you get those runs from Daniel Richards, you just don't get them from Alex Pritchard because he doesn't have the pace to get in behind. I thought after that touch, the opportunity may have gone away, but Richards doing very well. Roberts, sorry. Weird little chipped cross. Ross Stewart wins it into Joe Gelhardt, who is there like a poacher, volleying it into the back of the net. We are 3-1 up. It's a good header from Ross Stewart, to be fair. There's a weird cross from Roberts, not cleared properly by Viner. I actually thought that Joe Gelhardt was offside there, but somehow he's managed to keep himself on. And then it's a good volley. No chance for the keeper from that range. 3-1 Sunderland. We go back inside to Sykes. Pring, who's been popping up everywhere. I think that should be the end of the game unless they're going to allow them to have the rest of this attack. They're not, and that is going to see us finish the episode off with another win in a played game. 3-1 over Bristol City. I mean, it was a game that we should have been winning, but we haven't been winning games that we should have been winning, so it's nice to actually hold on and win a game that we're the favourites in. Unfortunately, we fail once again to keep a clean sheet, but that kind of just is what it is. The inform that we're going to give for this one is obviously going to have to go to the man, Ross Stewart. It was an incredible performance from him. It could have gone to Amad Diallo because I think he actually played quite well. Joe Gelhardt also playing well. But the goal and the assist, it's got to go to Ross Stewart. He's getting the inform. So our 5-point advantage over Middlesbrough still remains. The gap is still there following that win, which is nice to see. So we are feeling confident. It's getting to the point now where I think maybe top 2. We should definitely be finishing top 2. We only have 2 episodes left. In the next episode we play Wigan, Huddersfield, Blackburn and Swansea, and then in the finale we have Cardiff, Birmingham and Norwich to finish things off. So that is where we're going to end this episode. Please like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell to get notified when the next episode is available to you, and I hope to see you in it. Peace.